Hey man, thanks for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Hey, whereabouts are you right now? Because I saw on your Instagram page you're at Helsinki
Yeah,
doing a bit of a
I
press
was in
release.
Helsinki. Yeah, I was in Helsinki last week.
Oh,
I
okay,
was there
cool.
for I was there for a day, just doing some interviews.
Wow, just
And
ducking over for a day.
yeah, very lucky that way that I got to do that.
What's it?
Right now, I'm just sitting in my apartment in Oslo.
Oh, nice. What's it like at Helsinki?
Yeah,
It's one place that's on my bucket list to go to, but I've not had the chance yet.
the first ever time I went to Finland was this year with Fixation earlier this year on tour. And last week was the third time I was in Finland, and I absolutely love it.
Oh,
It
nice.
yeah, it sort of reminds me a lot of Norway, but I think the people are so nice there. They're so welcoming, and we've been really well taken care of when we've been there. And yeah, I just love the culture. It's really nice.
Oh, awesome. So, what else has been going on? You've had your tour with Devon Townsend earlier this year.
Yeah,
That's pretty exciting.
yeah, that was amazing. We did 6 weeks with them in Europe,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, and no, it was really great. It was our first ever European tour, so we were so lucky to be able to join along for that ride.
Yeah,
And
cool.
they were so nice. We got to know them really well over the course of those 6 weeks. And at the end of the tour, I felt like we really became good friends. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, we
Was
felt
there
really
any?
welcomed.
Sorry.
We felt really welcomed
Oh,
on that
lovely.
tour. So
Nice. Was there any like highlights from that?
you know, we it was the first time we played in so many countries because we've been doing some one-off shows in outside of Norway, but there's so many countries we haven't visited yet with Fixation. So being able to travel, like especially down to Italy and Spain and Portugal, where the crowds are so like crazy, that was amazing because it's in Norway it's because of the culture, people are a bit more stiff in the audience. You need to have at least like 5 beers to move a little. Uh, so coming down to those more southern countries in Europe was really amazing because people were so energized, and they were singing along to all the music and jumping and making a lot of noise. So it
No,
was really
nice.
really great to experience.
No, that's cool. It's interesting you bring up the culture back home in Norway because obviously it's renowned for the black metal scene that emerged in the 90s. Is that something
Yeah.
you feel that overshadows other heavy metal genres that are coming out?
Uh, I mean, s- not really, but sort of, kind of in a way, because Norway has this, it's known for the black metal, and a lot of people travel to Norway for that, which I think is amazing because it's a big part of our culture, and it's still kicking around. People join or come to Norway for like the Inferno Festival to see a lot of good bands play.
Yeah,
And I think it's also it's a good place for younger black metal bands to showcase their music as well.
yeah, of course.
Um, but you know, in Norway, metal and rock isn't the biggest genre, so especially and like black metal, I think it's more popular internationally to come to Norway to see
Yeah,
those
right.
bands. It's not really a big thing in the mainstream here.
True.
So yeah, it's more like an export thing.
Yeah, like
So I
Australia
think
and
it's become
camels.
yeah. So I think it's been like that for us as well. It's been a lot of focus outside of Norway. We've been lucky enough to get some recognition back here as well, but I think our main focus is outside of Norway because yeah, the scene isn't huge here, but we can kind of see it growing a bit as well, which I think is really nice. A lot more bands uh, in the rock metal scene are getting recognized, which I think is amazing because there's so many great new up and coming bands here.
That's good.
They
That's awesome.
deserve it.
Speaking of up and coming, obviously you've had the new single released, Flat Earth. I am
Yeah.
absolutely loving this track.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, like I've had to listen to the new record as well, which is coming 8th of September.
Yes.
Yeah, so More Subtle Than Death is coming out, so you must be pumped for that.
Yeah, really excited.
What was the writing process there? Because there's a few songs that have been on the Global Suicide and Ignore the Disarray EPs. So were they
Well,
intended to go on the album?
so there's no songs from Global Suicide on there, but Ignore the Disarray, it's not really an EP. It's
Oh,
uh it's the singles. It's a
right.
compilation of the singles. So the thing Spotify does it,
It,
if it's four or more songs, it calls it an EP.
there you go.
Yeah, so that's why. But we ended up releasing a lot of the songs from the album as singles because that's sort of how the world works these days with music. You gotta keep people interested,
Keep
and
the
I think
algorithm
releasing
happy.
and that as well,
Yeah,
unfortunately. But people, or I think like the general attention span is has gone down a lot due
oh yeah,
to maybe social media and like this constant wave of information that we get. So releasing five singles from this album was sort of a way to keep it interesting. Um, and yeah, the writing process, it's been a long time because we started at the end of 2020, really,
mm,
like knowing that we were going to write for specifically this album. And there's some songs on there that's been lying around since like 2018 as well.
yeah, right.
Um, so the last song on the album, Dystopia, it's like an idea I had in 2018 that we brought back. Uh, but it's been a slow process of writing this album. We definitely could have done it faster, I think. But we're sort of all very like perfectionists, and I think we spent a lot of time trying to get all the minor details in place. Maybe even before the song was done, like before the song was written,
Yep.
which is kind of stupid. But and I think we've learned from that as well because we're constantly writing new music, and it's going a lot faster because I think we know to focus on like, okay, like, let's get the structure of the song and the top line and everything done first, and then we can focus on the details when it gets to that process instead of doing everything all at once. And it's been great because we get the songs a lot more quickly, like and they still sound. I think they sound great. So we learned a lot from the writing process of the album, and I'm very happy it's finally coming now. We had the masters done in January, I think. So we've been sitting on it for a couple of months, or a lot of months now, and it's very exciting to get it out there for everyone to listen to.
Yeah, I know a few people that are personally, a few people that are really going to enjoy it, but there's definitely going to be some people that are fans of the melding of genres that you guys do. Like it's
Yeah,
not a specific sound, which is really cool. Um, how there's not a lot that I could really find about you guys. So like hearing Flat Earth was the first track that I'd heard, unfortunately, and then I went back and listened
yeah.
to some of the other stuff, and it's awesome. How did
Thank you.
Fixation start?
So we started like really started as a band when we were like 15 in high
Oh, wow.
school.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So we've been doing a lot of writing a lot of like shitty music for a couple of years.
Experimenting.
Uh, yeah, definitely. And I think we got like this trial period before we released anything. I mean, we did release some like music that has since been taken down, but uh, I think we kind of got the time to figure out who we were and what sound Fixation is. And then in 2020, when we got to release our debut EP, Global Suicide, that's really when things started happening. So we were like because Norway is a small place, and we came from a city outside of Oslo, and we were sort of this local band for so many years. And when we moved to Oslo, we did it because we wanted to like work on the band, but we got a couple of years where we didn't really do anything at all. So the EP was a way for us to like, okay, we have to at least get some music out there. And it was the start of who we are today, I think, because that's when we got the deal with Indie Recordings, which is our label, which are amazing people that's been really supportive and getting us up to the place we are now and getting this album out in the world. So
Oh, there it is.
there it is.
Oi.
And me being
Look
able
at
to
that
hold this in
one.
my hands, yeah, it's amazing. It's always been a dream to like have your own music physically in front of you. That's amazing.
Yeah, I bet.
Uh, so it's been, yeah, it's been a long process, and I think that yeah, since 2020, it's been building up slowly but surely. We've never been like wanting to get this sort of huge thing overnight. We always wanted to work on it step by step to build the band and build ourselves up for this. I think it's the best way to do it, because if you're like thrown in head first,
Yeah.
you don't really know what to expect, and you probably not like that prepared for it as well. So
Yeah.
preparing yourself over a good amount of time, I think, is really the best way to do it, and that's what we're still doing.
Yeah.
Growing slowly but surely this band up. Yeah, and it's great. We've so many nice input from people all over the world, and uh, being here, having our debut album released next week, it's yeah, always dreamed about it, but never really saw it coming. So
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing.
It must be, you must be over the moon with all that with all the growing that you guys have gone through with, starting way back in high school. How has your sound evolved, like, and the message in your music? Has that changed over time, or has it always stayed consistent?
No, it's definitely changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because so like the first concert we ever played, as we were a three-piece, it was me and the bassist we have now, and an older drummer called Jürgen, who uh, left the band many years ago. We started this band, and we played like some original songs, but mostly like covers of Radiohead and some Coldplay probably, and
Yep.
Muse maybe. Uh, and it probably sounded like really bad. Uh, but it's a learning curve, and the songs we wrote then, I think, were a bit more poppy. Uh, I was really inspired by 36 to Mars, which I still the This Is War album by 36 to Mars. I think it still has an impact
Yeah. Great.
on our music now, but it had a really big impact then, I think. So it was more in that realm, but then again, less grandiose
Mhm.
and less developed like it is today, and didn't really get into more heavy music until maybe around 19 years old, and that's when we really started to write in a more heavy direction.
Yep.
And I think writing music now, we're always writing more and more heavy because
Yeah.
we get so many new inputs from bands um, that are really amazing, and it's fun to play more heavy music. And I think we experimented with it on the album, which is really fun. But I think also it's fun to take it a bit step further
Yeah.
as well. So no, yeah, the sound was really different before, but the message has always kind of been the same. It's always been about social criticism and the state of the world today.
Mhm.
Um, because it's stuff that really I'm 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 very invested in, and I really Fixation is a way for me to get that frustration and
Yeah.
sort of anger out, um, yeah, in some sort of way without running down the streets yelling, you know.
Yeah, I saw there was Survive. There was a post on your or the band's Insta about Survive when that first came out, about feeling downtrodden and awareness about mental health and things like that, and that was really
Yeah,
cool to see. Yeah,
it's always been a huge topic. You know, people go through these different periods in their life, and I think when writing Survive, and also on this album, writing the songs Bleed and Claustrophobic, it's been in times where I've been in that mental state where the world feels kind of unfair, and
yeah,
uh, you don't really have a very um, good self-esteem, and for me that was a way to sort of get those feelings out. Um, I'm at a very good place now. I'm very happy. So looking back at those songs, it's weird to sort of see where I was mentally
yeah,
at that point, but it's kind of good as well. I think it's good to see the progress from
hmm
there. It's such a long time ago now, so it's good to see it's gone in the right direction. Uh, so yeah, no, it's been a really big topic for me. I've always listened to bands writing this sort of music, and for me, the one of the biggest comforts was listening to other bands write
hmm
about how they were feeling, and me not feeling so alone. If my biggest idol feels
yeah,
the same way I do, it's okay.
yeah,
So Linkin Park was one of those bands,
yeah.
like one of the first bands I ever listened to in this genre, and there's so many songs that really, yeah, helped me get through a lot of bad times.
Yep.
So yeah, it's always been inspiring.
Yeah, good. Nice stuff. Um, you obviously already brought up 30 Seconds to Mars, and that was the first thing I heard when I started listening was I can hear a lot of that first album. And I was like,
Yeah.
I need more of this. This is awesome. You've also been likened to Thrice and Bring Me the Horizon. I can't remember who by. But who would you say your other main influences would be? Obviously, you said as well Linkin Park.
Yeah, I think Bring the Horizon is one of the biggest for us as a whole.
Yep,
Architects as well is a band that
of
we
course.
all love, and I think that's where we get a lot of the, you know, going back a couple of albums with Architects, that heavy sound that they have. I think that's something that's always been inspiring to us.
Mhm.
But never really daring to go that heavy, and I think we're working towards that, which is really fun.
Okay.
Um, Muse was a
Yep.
big band for me for a lot of years. I was obsessed with Muse for so many years. Um, and I gotta mention My Chemical Romance because it's been a huge band for me.
That-
Gerard Way, the way he writes these conceptual albums, it's always been so inspiring. I did a bachelor's degree in like music performance or music, and
yeah, right.
my bachelor's was about concept albums and conceptual music, and uh, My Chemical Romance was a huge inspiration for that,
Yeah,
writing
okay,
that. So
cool.
they've always been a really big part of my musical palette.
hmm I did see the post with the MyChem tat, and
Yeah,
that was actually something I was going to ask. How have they helped you creatively? But you've already answered that, so that's awesome.
yeah,
Good
no,
stuff.
yeah, huge inspiration for me.
Oh yeah. So what else is going on for you guys next? You've got the tour with Danny's Okay, and
Yes,
Samurai Pizza Cats.
yeah.
That's going to be
So
nuts.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We're also joined by Shields and To
Oh
Kill
yeah,
Achilles
yep.
on some of the dates, which I'm really looking forward to. The past tour was sort of a thrown in without looking sort of thing
Mhm.
because it was our first time doing it. So this time I think we're a bit more prepared.
Yep.
We know what to bring, and you know more socks and underwear, definitely. Don't really think about that before you go, but then it's like, oh shit, it's 6 weeks away from home.
Yeah.
And it's not that easy to get like get yourself to like a laundromat or anything like that. So
True.
gotta be prepared.
Everything would be on a time crunch, hey? Like you'd be going from place to place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So yeah, I remember we were in Marseille or something, and we found a laundromat, but the dryer didn't work.
Oh no.
So we tried it like 4 times, and the clothes were still wet. So our whole backstage area was just all of our like socks and underwear hanging, which was not that. And we shared the backstage with Clone as well.
Oh no.
So I feel kind of bad for them, but we shared the bus together as well, so we're kind of used to it at that point. But yeah, you learn a lot from doing one of those tours, so I think we're a bit more prepared for this one.
Have you
So
played with
I'm
any of
looking
the
forward
guys?
to it.
Sorry?
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, nice.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Have you played with any of the guys that you're going to be touring with next?
No, never.
Oh,
So can't wait to meet them.
yeah,
That'll be
bet.
fun.
So what's on after that? Obviously, you said you've kept writing or continuously writing. So going to
Yeah.
follow up More Subtle Than Death with a bit more of a banger.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go into the details yet, but I mean, we are continuously writing. We wrote while on tour with Devon as well. We will probably continue writing on this tour as well. And yeah, we're gonna be working a lot in the studio, I think, after the tour.
Yeah,
So
nice.
we'll see what that turns out to be.
Well, hopefully, I reckon people are going to absolutely love this new album, dude. Hopefully, we'll
Thank
be
you.
able to see you down here in Australia at some point.
Oh, we'd love to. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
amazing. It's one of my dreams is to travel to Australia. So being able to do that with Fixation would be absolutely amazing.
yeah, it would. I think I definitely think you'd hit the mark down here. I think a lot of
Nice.
people don't realize what's about to hit them.
That's great to hear.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, cool. Thank you so much for your time, man. I'll leave you to the rest of your day. More
Thank you so
Subtle Than
much.
Death is out on the 8th of September. We'll have the links and everything down below in the description. So, Jonas, thanks heaps, man.
Thank you so much, man.
Awesome.